charismatic and gorgeous Cathy Ngo.
I'm blushing at the moment. Thank you for having me. I've actually been part of Dawn. For those who don't know, I've been part of Dawn for the last 2 years, mainly behind the scenes, doing a bit of HR, marketing, comms, running workshops, a bit of a jack of all trades. But I'm really, really excited to bring this workshop to you all today. This is something that I suggested today because of the remarkable benefits that it's brought me personally and professionally as well, and I can't wait to share it with you all tonight.
Yeah, so I don't know how many of you are out there, but please, there's also a link to download the workbook PDF, which is apparently just a description below the video, so you can follow along. So I will hand over to Cathy to run this session for the next half an hour or something, and I'll come back again.
No, don't fall asleep.
Hopefully you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And please send questions through whatever, because we are monitoring those questions and we're going to feed it to Cathy. So enjoy the workshop and let's see how this goes. So see you then.
Thank you. Thank you, Di. So you've all got the link to the workbook. But I'm going to make this really casual and informative as much as possible. So maybe have a look at what's on screen at the moment, and then in your own leisure, in your own time, fill out your profile yourself. But hopefully by now everyone is on LinkedIn. If you're not really on LinkedIn, perhaps sign up to LinkedIn when you get the chance, because this will be very, very informative. If we do get a lot of questions, we might do a second part. So this is designed to be a crash course. I'm not employed by LinkedIn. I'm not paid by LinkedIn or anything. I also don't have thousands and thousands of followers. I think I do have enough to actually bring me a lot of connections, a lot of friends along the way as well. So yeah, enjoy. So yes, my name is Cathy Ngo. I'm also the founder and CEO of Keynote Worthy, which is a business bringing together event organisers with conference speakers. And I guess the difference is that they are all diverse speakers, because there's a lot of lack of diversity in the event space. So that's just a brief overview of my business. So you have a bit of a profile about me in the workbook. So I won't go into too much detail unless you've got a burning question about whether I like pineapple on pizza or whatever. But firstly, before we go into anything, what is LinkedIn? So it was founded by, I think, two dudes. I can't remember their names, and I don't think you care anyway. But it's initially a social networking site, a business focused, and it still is to a certain extent. A lot of people find that it's getting a bit like Facebook. I do agree to a certain extent, but I think a lot of us, particularly amongst this period of time, we do need to have a lot of fun. And just because you are in business or you're in the corporate space or wherever you are, we still need to have fun and really think about, why do we show up every day? What is it that we're doing? And otherwise, for me, it's not worth living if I'm not having fun. So yeah, it's a powerful tool. I started using LinkedIn back in 2009. I was in a recruitment consultant role at an agency, so I couldn't rely on candidates going straight directly to myself. I needed to go out and proactively find people, particularly with very niche skill sets, and it's a great search tool. So just think of LinkedIn as a search tool, like another Google, but as a social media platform. So that's a bit about LinkedIn. That's me. Hello. If you're not yet connected with me on LinkedIn, feel free to connect. I know I'm connected with some of you from the SWEH family, so hello if you're joining. All right. So LinkedIn, is it worth it? Some people ask me, well, I'm not looking for a job at the moment, so why should I be on LinkedIn? Isn't it just an online CV? Well, no, it's not just an online CV anymore. I mean, it used to be seen as an online CV, but now you can just have so many rich conversations with other people from across the world where you otherwise wouldn't have that opportunity. So for me, I've had a lot of success stories. I've got another job as a writer, and I've gained so many opportunities and a lot of work through LinkedIn. And when you buy something, you always do your internet research first. I know like 87% of people do that. I know I do. I go down the rabbit hole of research, but people do that with other people as well. So it's not just about the products or the services that you sell, whether it's your own business or whether you're working from someone else. When they want to do business with you, they are going to look you up. So one of the ways is, of course, through LinkedIn, Google, everything. So then you have to make sure that your social footprint reflects the way that you want to be seen as. Yes, I've done a lot of digital clean up myself already. I've got nothing to lose at the moment. I'm not going to in politics yet. I'll never say no. But basically, when you're applying for a job, as a previous recruiter myself, I did look up people. And some people think that it's a bit unethical, but it's just like researching for anything. Like we want to be able to, and it's not about cyber stalking, it's about gaining as much information about that person in order to build that rapport, because we are in a business of people. It's attracted a lot of collaborations for me, a lot of work. It's given me the opportunity to build my own personal and business brand as well. So as I mentioned before, I have my own business, Keynote Worthy, and I started that late last year, and I have zero marketing budget, zero PR, and I know the events industry is a bit of challenge at the moment, but it's just all organic, word of mouth, through my own personal networks. And people have responded to that because it's genuine, and I am very genuine. It's about, answering, the important questions. And I am a little bit provocative as well, which you might find out later on about my style. Also a good opportunity about to expand your professional network as well. Because these days, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. So, I like to call LinkedIn as networking in your pajamas. I'm not wearing my pajamas today, but for the last 2 weeks I have been, and I've connected with so many fabulous people throughout the period. So it's great during this time. Like I always try to see the silver lining in everything. Yes, coronavirus is, it's just a big kick in the butt, for everyone in this world. But I try to see the opportunities, and already the opportunities here. Like as Di mentioned, we've never ever delivered a SWEH workshop online before, and here we are today because of coronavirus. And I've also, funnily enough, had a lot of work. Sorry, don't hate me. Because of coronavirus, because I am a writer and I am covering a lot of news about it as well. It's a good time to, if you do have some downtime, to reconnect with people that you haven't connected for a long time. It could be a business associate from many years ago that you suddenly have thought about, like just saying hi. It's just, how are things? That's all. It's not about, selling or any motive like that. I think now is not the time for, slimy sales pitches. Now is the time to connect with other people just to see how they are. So if you are in a business, go through your CRM, go through every contact who you haven't spoken to for the last couple of weeks, touch base with them, see how they're going, see where you can help. So be in that position of service. That would really help. And also, because this shall pass, people will remember you. They will remember you as the person that reached out. It could just be talking about, I don't know, Tiger King or something like that. That's the topic of conversation at the moment. Everyone seems to be watching it, even some of the CEOs that I've been talking to, because people need to, I don't know, have a bit of fun and kind of take their mind off things a little bit, because it is really noisy out there. And just look out for each other. Okay. So there's just been a lot of boom in jobs because of coronavirus. So I'm not going to go through this whole thing, and I will send the slides through at the end after this presentation so that you can all look at. But customer service roles, business development roles. So you can see there are some keywords there. So this is a study done by LinkedIn. So they've actually found a lot of jobs have actually boomed because of coronavirus. And also, some specialist roles as well, obviously general practitioner and medical professionals. Definitely. So have a look at that later, because if you are in a situation where you're finding that things are a little bit quiet, think about the skills that you have. So maybe doing a skill audit yourself. There's a lot of transferable skills like customer service that you can maybe tap into a different industry, a different company. Just to see whether there's work out there, because it's a time where we're doing things differently. So then we have to be in that position of vulnerability and have the courage to go for it. So have a look at that later. What I love about LinkedIn compared to Facebook, Instagram and all that, and I'm a self-confessed LinkedIn nerd, I think I spend too much time on there, is that your decision makers are on LinkedIn. And have a think about that again. Your decision makers are on LinkedIn. So if you've been trying to reach out to a certain person, a certain company, but you're not really sure who they are, what their name is, you can just do a search on LinkedIn, and the CEO or managing director, or whoever it is, will come up, and you will have that opportunity to connect with them. And here's another tip as well. When you connect with someone, you can send them a direct message, and the chances are they will read it. So if it's a direct message on Facebook or on Instagram, it's very hard for them to read it because there's all these security measures. I think it goes into another folder, or it's really complicated. But it's also seen as a little bit of a, unsolicited kind of thing. I mean, it is kind of unsolicited. But people see that as a bit more slimy. Whereas if you are on LinkedIn and you message someone directly, it is more, I guess, socially acceptable. So it's likely that they will read it because they are always on LinkedIn. So you will see here in this chart that 72% of decision makers and executives are on LinkedIn. So, you want to be reaching the decision makers, not the person that brings out the coffee. Okay, so now you've got a bit of context as to what LinkedIn is, why it's important, how you can use it, and now it's going back to basics. So have a look at your workbooks, because I list it step by step. The first one is obviously to clean up your profile, or to set up a profile if you haven't yet. So most of us are visual learners, so it goes without saying that having a professional headshot image is really, really important. And these days, it doesn't cost that much to get a professional headshot done. You can pretty much go on Airtasker, or if you've got a friend that has a really good camera, chances are most of us, know someone that does have one. Get them to take a photo of yourself. So at least it's high resolution, it looks professional, and you can use it on your LinkedIn profile. So just make sure that there's not a lot of things going on in the background. And I've seen so many terrible ones, which we'll go through a little bit later. But there are sometimes people, when they crop pictures, that you can see like half an arm or a shoulder of the other person. It just looks really unprofessional. I know it sounds really bad, but people do judge a book by its cover. And if you have an unprofessional headshot image that doesn't clearly show your face, then it's going to look poorly on your personal branding. So it doesn't matter like if you've got an MBA or you're a doctor or whatever it is. It's really sad, but that gets thrown out of the window because people have simply judged your photo in the first 3 seconds. So, that's number one. And this is sounds a bit Captain Obvious, but please put your real name. because I've seen a lot of people say Guru, Melissa, or whatever nickname it is, and it just doesn't look right. It's just a balance. Like sometimes people try to be a bit too smart or clever, and then sometimes people might not get it. So for instance, I'm quite sarcastic by nature, and I think it's just me being an Aussie. But when I go to the States or when I go overseas, people don't really understand that. So yeah, just put your real name. And also people will be searching. You want to be searchable as well. So by putting some other quirky name, it makes it really hard for people to find you. So just keep that in mind. Also, your headline is that little piece, that little section right below your name. So it's only 120 characters. So, use keywords. When I say keyword, and we'll go through keywords later, if you're a project manager, put project manager. So just, and most of the time the headline is someone's official title or a title that you are best known as in your industry. And then after that, there's your about section. So that's 2,000 characters maximum. Use that space because, again, when people are searching for professionals, you want to be in that search result as well. And lastly, use a custom LinkedIn profile URL. So when we set up our own profile, or if you've already got one, it comes with a random one. So it could be like Cathy Ngo 5678 or something like that. So what I've done is I've custom that so that it makes it a lot more easier for people to find me and also for me to link back as well. And so that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, keywords. So basically, what search terms would people type in to find you? So it's again really important because particularly if you're looking for a job or a potential client is maybe looking for a graphic designer or a business consultant in a niche industry, and then they've seen that you've worked for some of their competitors, so they want a bit of intel, or some of the industries that they service. So make yourself searchable. So it could be just getting a blank piece of paper and then writing down, what do you want? Like, what would people search you to find? So sometimes it's it could be even. I mean, if you get stuck, what you can do is you can look up a job description or a job ad that's in your particular field or job title, and then you can have a look at some of the keywords that they use and some of the roles and responsibilities, and just highlight them and use some of that into your profile as well. So that's a bit of a tip. And we're not all perfect, but don't forget to spell check. I've been guilty of that, and I'm a writer and editor myself, but I still get it wrong. So you can see here there are a lot of common spelling mistakes, like manager is spelled manger. Get a friend to proofread or use Grammarly, which is also a free tool where you can spell check, or even just Microsoft Word. Because you want your profile to look amazing and credible. And here are some awesome profiles. So I love this one, Dr. Natalia. I'm connected to her on LinkedIn. What I love about her is that her headshot, like immediately when you look at this, you look at her headshot. It's got this beautiful background and her glasses are the same color. So it makes it look very inviting. Like she's got a great smile, great hair. And her background image as well is just, it makes her look like she knows her shit, basically. Like she's got all these companies, which I'm assuming that she's worked for, and very big companies as well. And she's part of Forbes as a coach. And so if you have a look at her headline here, it's got a lot of keywords. So personal branding, that's what she does. She's known as a keynote speaker. But what I also love is her play on words, coach consultant and edutainer. So that immediately tells me that she's fun. She's got a sense of humor, perhaps. Like I've never met her before, but I mean, I've seen a lot of her videos, and yeah, she pumps out a lot of content. And immediately you feel like you can trust her and you can have this conversation with her without any judgment. So just from looking at that, you immediately get that feeling, and that's what you want for your own profile. I know this is like an extreme, amazing example, but I mean, it's something that we should aspire to. If you can evoke that sort of emotion for Dr. Natalia, then have a think about how you want to be projected as well, because it really depends on your industry. For some people, having that brightness might not be appropriate. Like for example, I don't know, funeral industry or something like that. That's just an example at the top of my head. But yeah, just have a think about how you want to be, how you want to come across as. Here's another example. I love this one because it looks so simple, but yet so clever. So you have a look at so I'm immediately drawn to his face. He's got a nice friendly smile. He kind of looks like Chris Martin. He's quite handsome. And he's got just simple colours that he's used. So his shirt is green, and also the background image is also some elements of green as well. And I just love how nerdy it is. Like, he's an engineer at Facebook, and have a look at that. I think like IT nerds that are watching at the moment will really love this. Like, he's got some of the like it just looks like coding language. So, and that's what he is. So he's stayed true to his personal branding. And here are some bad ones. You can see Davo there. He's probably single. He's got a black cat. Terrible photo. It looks like it's in his living room. And old mate down there, he's got 2 cans. He looks like he will breach the drug and alcohol policy from the first day. And the person next to him, no. It's not Tinder, guys. So just keep that in mind. Have something professional. Number 2, make connections. So it's time to be brave and go out there and make some connections. Oh, Di has just given me the finger. The finger as in to say, hey, there's questions. I think there's a question. Oh, okay. From one of our viewers, would it be best to keep your personal social media pages like Instagram private and separate to your professional pages? And it's by Terence. Thank you. That's a great question. Well, I'm going to first start off by saying it really depends on your industry. So this is really general advice. For me, my Facebook is very personal. And in fact, I don't think anyone in my LinkedIn network would want to be my Facebook friend, because all I post about is how much I hate coriander. But then, so I keep that private and separate, and I've made a conscious choice about that. I do have business pages, and so I encourage people to follow that and like that page instead. And same with Instagram as well. I don't have a personal Instagram page because I tried that and I was sick of taking photos of my food. And then, so I only have business pages for Instagram. And for, obviously, and also I forgot to mention as well. So in addition to my personal LinkedIn page, I also have a business page. Now, so if you're a business, you can create your own page. Now, I find it doesn't create a lot of traction. So LinkedIn is a little bit behind compared to Facebook when it comes to pages and algorithms and everything like that. So I find I get a lot more cut through when I post something from my personal profile on LinkedIn. And I think it's also, LinkedIn is where people are doing business with other people. So that's part of it as well. But in saying that, if you are a speaker yourself and if your business is your actual name, so let's just say you are a leadership coach and your business name is your actual name, then make it public and connect with other people through there. So it really depends on your industry and what you do. Great question. Thank you. Keep them coming through. So now that you've created your profile, it's time to connect with other people and think about quality, not quantity. So when you're connected with so many people, the message gets diluted. So I'm very conscious about targeting the right people, using the right words, and tagging people as well. So make connections with other people. So people to have a think about is people in your industry or line of work. That's an obvious one because you want to be networking with them. Previous colleagues are great as well. And I think they're great because they can provide you with a recommendation on LinkedIn. So it's like a testimonial basically. Business associates, so your clients, great idea to connect with them. I like to connect with people on the back of a networking event. Now it's a little bit hard because we don't really see each other. But usually when I go to a networking event after I've met someone, because I always lose business cards, I just like to add them on LinkedIn. And you can just follow their feeds and they follow your feeds as well. You get updated on what they're up to. And then who knows, somewhere down the track you could do business together. And that's certainly worked very well for me. When I meet people, I don't think about, what's in it for me or, how am I going to sell to you? I don't ever think that way. I think, okay, how can I help this person, run their business much more easily. So as I mentioned before, one of my businesses, Keynote Worthy, is in the event space. So I help speakers. So I always think about how am I helping speakers to get these gigs, to get these opportunities. So now it's more about, okay, if they're not going face to face, then how can I get them more jobs virtually? So always, go with that mindset of service and of helping. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but I really believe in karma. So if you help other people, it will just certainly pay off down the track. And remember, it's not Tinder or Facebook, so don't be creepy or desperate. I know that might sound a little bit, like, what? WTF? But I've had so many messages from a lot of random guys mostly. I don't want to generalize here, but this is from my experiences, wanting to ask me out and asking about a lot of personal questions. And I'm thinking, dude, I'm like, what? I don't even know where to start. So I just ignore them because it's just obviously the wrong forum. Question by Henry. Oh, thank you. So Henry asks, I feel like in the corporate workspace, LinkedIn is highly encouraged, whereas Facebook, Instagram, what's SC? Sorry, I don't know, Henry. Maybe you can educate me on what SC is. I'm an elder millennial, by the way. TikTok isn't. However, I've seen in rumor mills that LinkedIn will introduce stories. How do you think this will change the culture of how it will be used in the corporate environment? Okay, so I briefly mentioned that business pages don't generally work well on LinkedIn unless you've got a lot of following. So there's a lot more work to be done with LinkedIn and optimizing business pages. And it's also really expensive to have any ads on LinkedIn pages. There's a lot of work to be done in that space, and I don't think it converts as well at the moment. But in terms of stories and how that will be used in the corporate environment, well, I think stories is similar to live streaming. And at the moment, LinkedIn is testing live videos. You can upload videos yourself, but you have to apply to have live streaming. So only certain people have access to that. And I think that's a much more powerful way to connect with people rather than stories. Certainly I find, stories has just been more popular on Facebook, and Instagram, and I haven't seen much talk about it in LinkedIn circles. So who knows? Maybe in a month's time, especially with the whole world is changing so rapidly, right? You just never know. So I say never say never. But what I do suggest at the moment is just stick to the basics. Get your profile, make a kick-ass profile, and just start talking to people. So I schedule in about 10 to 20 minutes each day just to go through LinkedIn, just to comment on other people's posts, say hi, respond to messages. And I must admit, it's been really hard at the moment. And I know you're probably all feeling this as well, because it's just so noisy at the moment. Like, everyone is online all at the same time, and sometimes it does feel like everyone's talking on top of each other. So I need to be mindful of how much I am consuming. I'm being really conscious about it. So yeah. And making LinkedIn requests. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about this. So this is just something that because I was just talking about how there's a lot of creepy people out there on LinkedIn. And yeah, this is like the search results that come up. So yeah, don't use it for dating. Making LinkedIn requests. I've got a couple of templates there for you to have a look at. And those who have just tuned in, don't worry. These slides will be accessible to everyone at the end. Don't worry. But yeah, I always have a personal message when I want to connect with someone. It's just, for me, I feel like it's just out of courtesy because I am sometimes a random out there on the internet. So I want people to understand that, I'm in a position of service, and that, I just want to connect with them and learn more about them. There are some templates here and some more templates here as well, which feel free to use. No need to credit. Okay, so after you've connected with a couple of people, actually, I'm going to set you a challenge. If you're new on LinkedIn, firstly, connect with me on LinkedIn, but try to find 30 people. Like every week or every day, set yourself a goal, like, I don't know, 2 people, 3 people, or something like that. But again, it's not about quantity; it's about quality of the connections. All right. So number 3 is to spread the word. So share it. Share your profile with everyone. So there are various ways that you can share it. You can code your LinkedIn profile into your email footer. So when you send out an email to someone, like you can see in that email signature section, like a lot of people have it. If you haven't seen it, Let's Connect on LinkedIn. They can click onto that link and then automatically add you on LinkedIn. You can also have a LinkedIn icon on your website as well. So it could be either your business page or your personal profile, again, depending on your industry. All marketing collateral as well, have it there. And here's the thing, that's why it's so important to customize the link of your profile so that it makes it easier for people to type it in rather than, was it 740? To make it easy for people. Networking events, handy if you don't have business cards, or if you've run out of business cards, or if you think business cards is just way old-fashioned. So yeah, it's handy. Also share it on other social channels as well. I know it sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but a lot of people on other social media channels are also on LinkedIn as well. So yeah, spread the word. Now Di has given me another finger. She said, should your LinkedIn profile be the same as a resume? Yes, definitely. Oh, I've missed. It should be the same as resume. No. Sorry, I thought you meant Isaac. I thought you meant if it should be on your resume. Yes, on your resume. Put a link there. So when you are on, don't copy and paste everything on your CV into LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn needs to be a little bit of a summary, because most of us scan when we read something online, particularly. So make sure keywords, again, we were talking about keywords before, add those in. Add those in into your profile. So certainly, yeah, it kind of mirrors your resume, but it's got the added benefit where you can add in your personal bio as well. And with your personal bio, I did mention this before, I recommend writing it in first person. So I'll say I'm a writer, presenter, and speaker. I don't say Cathy is a writer, speaker, presenter. It just sounds a bit awkward. So when you write your LinkedIn profile, make it like a conversation. Make it like you are talking to someone. Because again, it's in the business of people. Great question, Isaac. Thank you. Keep those questions coming, peoples. All right. So once you've spread the word, you need to post something. And I remember when I first posted something on LinkedIn, I was freaking out. And I know a lot of people feel the same way as well because, I mean, you're self-conscious about it, right? Because it's in a professional setting and most likely your boss is on that platform or potential customers. So you got to be really wary about what you're saying. And most of us don't post content because we are simply fearful that we might look stupid, we might not know what we are talking about, or or we might think that our message isn't important. So there's some of the voices that are going inside some of our heads. I know I've definitely been in that situation. So what I suggest is to just get started and dial down those noises. If you're feeling really self-conscious in the first instance, maybe get someone to double check your post. Maybe for the first couple of posts, just to kind of sense check it, like, oh, is this too provocative? Does this sound, is there anything missing in this post? Have someone check your post first if you want, if you're feeling a little bit like, oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, get a friend to check. Or otherwise, just get started. I know when I started, I just did it. And I was experimenting a lot with the different types of content. I found that when I was just adding a link to an article without putting much context or my own personal perspective to it, I found that no one really responded because it's like, oh, you just posted up a link to Sydney Morning Herald. Like, who cares? I saw that on Facebook as well. They might be thinking that way. So just be really, use it as a space to share your own opinion. Like it could even be you might not agree with that article and you share your perspectives on something. And then always have almost like a call to action or a question at the end, like, what do you think about this? Is this true? Whatever it is, ask a question, ask a rhetorical question even. Get people, the aim is to get people to interact with you. And when people interact with you, you'll get obviously more views on your post, but then LinkedIn does something with the algorithms as well. And if you are trending, then it will certainly let people know that you're trending on it. And then so people will be curious and they'll want to know, what is it that you posted? And also once you like a post or some of your connections likes your post or comments on it, their connections also see it as well. So it's not just, let's just say you've got 500 connections. So it's not just the 500 connections that potentially see it, but it's also the second degree. Second degree, that's when I talk too fast. I get too excited. Second degree connections and third degree as well. So that's really, really, really powerful. I remember I posted up something about 2 years ago and it clocked over 100,000 views. And yeah, it was still going. Like people were still liking it, I think a couple of months ago, which is really strange. But it just goes to show like that post has just gone around the world. I wish I could. I was trying to find the post a couple of days ago, but I couldn't because my internet is too slow because I have to go through the archives. But it just goes to show how powerful it is when you do message something. And so start posting. LinkedIn also allows you to post up articles as well. And the great thing about that is that it's really good with search engines. So even if someone is not on LinkedIn themselves, but if they search for, I don't know, a particular topic, and if your article is up there on that particular topic and people have liked it or engaged with it, it will come up in the Google search results. So yeah, post articles, post blogs. So if you've posted something on your business page or something like that, copy the same content over onto your LinkedIn blog, and also link it back to your website as well, so that people, they'll be naturally curious about what is it you have to say, and they'll check out your business or the company that you work for. Now, I just got another question. Now, I've been reluctant to start a LinkedIn account because I don't have an extensive professional background. Hence, I've been focused on my personal branding on Instagram and feel like I don't have much credibility. I definitely see the value in starting a LinkedIn account. What advice could you give me? And that's from Terrace. Well, okay. Now that is quite common, and I think it's going back to, a common feeling. It's going back to my original comment about posting something because you feel like, people are judging me, and you're feeling really vulnerable out there. But I feel like everyone has something to say. And I remember a particular person stood out to me. He had just graduated with a marketing degree. I think it was a marketing degree. And he was just posting up content, sharing articles, sharing his perspective on things. He doesn't have a lot of work experience. In fact, he's only done a couple of internships here and there. But some of the people that have interacted with him, and I was seeing through the comments, are decision makers. Some of them are CMOs, CEOs, and not just from small businesses, but some medium-sized ones as well. So it just goes to show how powerful it is, and it doesn't really matter if you're, I don't know, the janitor or the person working at a cafe. Like, everyone has a story to share. You feel really like, self-conscious first, but just get started. Just start interacting. Start off small, because, I know I showed some amazing profiles just then, but, see that, don't use that to put yourself off. Use that as an aspiration, but put your spin on it as well. So, Terrace, I'm not really sure what industry you're in, but, I mean, connect with me, whether it's on email or whatever it is, or on LinkedIn once you start a profile, and then just share with me maybe your bio, or float some ideas off me, and I'll just let you know what I think about it, so I can certainly help you with that as well if you're feeling that way. But everyone has something to say. I just, you don't have to have, tertiary, like an MBA or whatever it is. So just start, just get it done. And another question from Maria. Reaching out to 30 contacts. I heard that if you reach out to others who don't know you and they block you, they can certainly get you banned from LinkedIn. Should you first reach out to people you actually know? Oh, yeah, definitely. So I'm just going to go back a little bit. Here it is. Yeah, so making connections. So definitely, not some random out there. That would be kind of the last priority. But it's usually it's easy if you're getting started to connect with your old colleagues, previous bosses, business associates, just to get comfortable with that. And then from there, you can connect with people in your industry. And so I've got some templates here which you can use. You can pretty much straight out say, hey, I know that we've never met before, but I saw you, as an example, I saw you speak at, Telstra Business Women's Business Awards, and I was really deeply inspired by that. Would love to connect to follow your journey further. Something like that. Tailor it to that particular person. Like, don't go all desperate and fangirling them or fanboying them, whatever. But like, just be professional, but just, be honest. Like, we haven't met before, but really keen to connect because we both work in the mining industry or whatever it is. Like, find that connection. Don't use it to connect with your celebrity crush or anything like that, because that might not work. Be genuine about why you're connecting. So yeah, thanks. Great question, Maria. Keep those coming, people. All right. Post something. The tone of voice is a lot more casual than it used to be. So so those who are already on LinkedIn, you can probably see a lot of Zoom memes at the moment. Who's seeing Zoom memes? Like, my feed is inundated with it. But I'm a little over it at the moment, but parts of me likes it because it's that element of, we're all human here. We're all connecting with each other from our living room or from our study. So it really humanizes us. But yet we're also doing a business meeting, a client meeting, or we're running an event. So I find that quite lovely. Oh, unless you're using a virtual background, which Zoom allows you to. So then I won't get a sneak peek into your living room. And Canva, I love Canva. You can use that to create graphics as well, because we're all visual, right? We get drawn to the image first, and then we read the text around it. So going back to that beautiful profile by Dr. Natalia, you see how inviting that was from the colors and everything like that. We looked at that immediately, and then we looked at the surrounding words. So yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to go through every dot point, but basically what I find works is being consistent. So I found that my profile views dropped when I stopped posting. And I've also, over the years experimented with different types of content. So like I said before, if you're just posting up something random without putting your spin to it or your opinion, then it's probably likely going to be lost in the feed and people won't engage with you. Also, the great thing about LinkedIn is that it's okay to celebrate your success there. And I find that it's not that it's not okay, but people tend to be less responsive when you are celebrating success on Facebook Facebook groups or on Facebook. Depending on the group that you're in. I know the SWEH Facebook group is very inclusive and very inviting, but there's a lot of groups out there that aren't so inviting and inclusive. And in Australia, we suffer from that tall poppy syndrome. So if you gloat, people are like, oh, you're a big head or something like that. So, but it works on LinkedIn. That's the funny thing. As long as you're not over the top. So you could say something like, hi people, I've been working on securing the account with XYZ for many, many years, and I'm really excited to announce our partnership. So that's a form of celebration, a form of success in a genuine way. So talk about partnerships, talk about, also some things that maybe mistakes as well. I know it's not for everyone, but I found that there are some senior leaders that have posted up some of their mistakes and, I shouldn't say mistakes, but some of the things that perhaps didn't go too well and some of their learning opportunities from there. And I think now is a great time for that because we are all learning here. No one would have predicted coronavirus coming, so we're all in this together, and we're learning as we go. So I'm so used to presenting face to face, and I've also, for those who don't know, I've also done stand-up comedy as well. So I love reading people's reactions and response, and if they respond, then I kind of poke at it a bit more. But whereas right now I'm staring right directly into a camera, I'm staring into a black hole, literally, and it's really different. So then my style of presenting has to be different. Like I feel like I have to be, a lot more vibrant, a lot more, I guess, a little more movement. But it's still me. Like I'm not trying to be over the top or anything. And hashtags don't really work on LinkedIn as well, I find. But I find, funnily enough, that when you do put a hashtag, it could be just 1 or 2 hashtags, that it does make it pop out. So that's something that you can experiment with. Oh, one thing, being provocative as well. So depending on who you are, I'm quite a provocative person, and I guess that explains why I've done stand-up comedy. I just like to test people's reaction sometimes. So I'll give you an example. Recently, I think it was, a couple of months ago, the Australian Financial Review ran a business summit. And the business summit, all the speakers, the leaders there were all mostly, actually 95% Anglo-Saxon. So there was severe lack of diversity, and 8 out of the 32 speakers were women. Lots of groups of people. I'm not going to go through all groups because, we're a beautiful country, very, very diverse. But basically, a lot of conversations were left out. So when it's not diverse like that, it just shows that the conversations are from only one angle or one perspective. And then so I called that out on LinkedIn. And then what I did was I tagged a lot of people who would comment on that as well. And then people started sharing that post and, commenting on it. And then it just went for days and days and days and days. And people were messaging me because sometimes people don't feel comfortable commenting. So they message me, like my phone or private message saying, "Oh, thank you for calling this out. It really means a lot to me." And I almost cried, actually. There's this beautiful person who she's in tech, and like she said, "Thank you for calling this out. Like I feel as though not many people call out these things. So well done." So it felt good. And I also called out another tech conference as well, and one in banking and finance. So when I call things out, I don't say, how dare you, or, like, what's wrong with you? It's more from a position of we need to be better. So it's just being respectful at the same time and not shouting, basically. And that's kind of in my nature. And thanks to mum and dad for raising me this way. Feel free to be provocative as well. So, like I said before, if there's an article that you may not agree on, share that and share why. Start posting. Sharing and commenting on other people's posts as well. So if there's a person that you can follow people on LinkedIn as well. So you don't have to be directly connected with them to see some of their feeds. You can, follow them. So then you see some of the things that they post, but they don't see what you post because you're not connected. So if there's someone that you've been wanting to do business for a while and you're not sure how to be on their radar, it's a great time to start commenting on it. So you can say, "Hey, Naomi, thanks for sharing your perspective on this. It's really, really good. I never thought of it this way. Hope you're doing well." And that person will read it. It's a great, we're in a business where you just need to be visible. So now that we can't be physical face to face, we just have to be a lot more, kind of ramp it up online as well, but in a genuine way. Share other people's posts, comment on them. And then and it's good karma as well, because then they start to they start to become more curious about you and what you do, and then they'll do their research. They'll look at your profile, and then connect with you, and then hopefully do business with you. And certainly that's happened to me a couple of times. So give it a go. All right, so I've got a few post ideas here for you. So you can read that in your own time. So a personal celebration, a win with a client, a testimonial that you've recently received. Oh, here's a great tip. If you've received a testimonial from a client, so let's just say it's on your website or it's on Google reviews, take a screenshot of that or post the testimonial on a Canva template and then share that with people. So the benefit of doing that, and it's not like, being a show off or anything like that, but it shows that, hey, you're credible and you know your shit and you're pretty awesome and I want to do business with you. So people buy from, people that they trust. So, so that's a bit of advice there. Post up a tip about something as well. So I've just shared a tip with you on using Canva. What are some of the tips that I've said recently? I forgot. I'll come back to that later. All right. So asking for recommendations. So we touched on testimonials before, and you can also get people to provide recommendations for you as well. Now, I liked, again, going back to servicing other people. So start writing recommendations for colleagues, business associates, previous bosses, clients, so that and here's a little trick here, it's not just like, I know that it takes a lot of time, but it's good karma, because once you recommend on other people's LinkedIn profiles, whoever goes onto that LinkedIn profile will see that recommendation. So then your profile will be there. So if it's someone that's quite a prominent or influential person, and then they see your face on that profile as well, they're going to be curious and they're going to want to learn more about you and how that particular person who you've recommended has helped you. So, again, it's about being visible in a smart way. So start recommending other people. And I've provided a template here that you can, recommend other people on LinkedIn. So give that a go. And also ask for recommendations as well. So I've got another template here for you. I love templates. I want to make things as easy as possible. So have a use that template to your advantage. Okay, let me just have a look if there's any other questions. No more questions. This is the end, my friends. And if you've got any questions offline, just feel free to get in touch with me. I hope that has been really useful for you. Even if you're a seasoned LinkedIn user like myself, I still have a lot of room for improvement as well. And you can use this time, when you're at home more or stay at home. Use it as an opportunity to kind of clean up your profile and add things in that you haven't been, maybe slacking off before. So I know at the moment a lot of people are producing more content to connect with their customers and add value where possible. So give that a go. And I really hope you all the best in your LinkedIn journey. Feel free to connect with me, ask me questions, whatever you want. I may not have all the answers, but I'll certainly, direct you to a credible source, not Wikipedia. But just give it a go, give it a try and have fun.
Thanks so much, Catherine. Thank you so much. And I hope that you enjoyed our first ever live streaming workshop by SWEH. It's just, obviously we're all trying this new mode of working. But before we go, I'd like to thank our SWEH team, the amazing team out there, Henry
Thank
Thay,
you.
Tiha, Bang Win, Samantha Bun, Ngan, Vu. Who else did I miss? God, I hope I didn't miss anybody there. But that's our core team and who've been helping us kind of to manage this SWEH workshop. We will be coming back and telling you what the next SWEH workshop will be. Obviously, it has changed a lot. Initially, we wanted to do the face-to-face at the Cabramatta Library at the Workery, but that has also been shut down. So at the moment, we are just navigating to find the right mode to present and to do the workshop with you. And thank you for all of the audience who've tuned in and listening and engaging with us. And I hope send us some questions and ideas to run some more workshops for you. We do have another workshop that Catherine was supposed to present in a few months' time, but we might need to bring that forward.
Yeah.
That's on the impromptu kind of.
That might be for a next year thing because it's a bit hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not impossible. Anything is possible now.
Yeah. So, but look, just stay. We will keep you posted on the SWEH group on Facebook. So check out the details of workshops that we'll be running. We definitely will be running things such as, immunity, how to build your immunity at this point, at this time of COVID-19, and other advices around how to help you through this very challenging period. We want people to ensure that they can come to SWEH and get as much support as they can to support them through this very difficult period. So just keep an eye out for what we're going to post up there, and our team will deliver. We'll get in touch with the members here. Please, use that SWEH group effectively. Share your stories, share your business, share your pains, share your gains, and hopefully we can actually do something together as a community to grow forward. So once again, thank you, and thanks, Catherine, for being here.
Thank you.
And thank to C Studio as well for actually hosting this. We're in this little tent. You don't see it, but it's kind of covered by kind of carpet, removalist carpet thing, and so this is where Dawn is broadcasting from us, and obviously doing our SWEH workshops will be running live from here as well. So thank you to C Studio, to Nadine Ahmed for doing the workbook, and for everybody who have really given themselves to making this new way of working work. So once again, have a great night and see you soon. Bye.
Bye.